There was a time in our history when the world said it was impossible for Africa to stand toe-to-toe with Europe. They told us that our spears could never stop them, that our drums could never silence their cannons, that our barefoot warriors could never march against the boots of their armies. But in 1896, a small African nation rose up, and the entire world watched as the impossible became reality. Ethiopia, a land of ancient kingdoms, deep faith, and proud traditions, faced one of Europe's hungry powers and said, "Not 1 inch of our land will you take." This is the story of Adwa, a beacon of freedom that illuminated the darkest days of colonial conquest. In the late 19th century, Europe was busy carving Africa like a piece of meat on the table. They called it the scramble for Africa. I call it what it really was, a scramble for our gold, our land, our labor, our future. This era saw European powers assert dominance, driven by industrial ambition and a belief in their own racial and cultural superiority. Britain, France, Belgium, Germany, Portugal, and Spain had all claimed their portions. Vast swathes of the continent fell under foreign flags, their resources plundered, their peoples subjugated. Then came Italy, a new country, unified only in 1861. Desperate to prove it was also a great power on the global stage. They looked across the Red Sea and saw the Horn of Africa, a region of immense strategic importance. Italy had already established a foothold, taking the coastal lands of Eritrea in 1889. But they were not satisfied with the shore. Their gaze was fixed on the ancient, independent Ethiopian highlands. And my people, here is where the lesson begins. When an enemy cannot defeat you by force, they will try to defeat you with a pen. At that time, Emperor Menelik II had just risen to power in Ethiopia. He was a shrewd and visionary leader, a diplomat who understood that to survive, he had to play Europe's rivalries against each other. Menelik sought to modernize his nation while fiercely guarding its sovereignty. He engaged with European powers, but always on his own terms. The Italians came smiling, offering a treaty, the Treaty of Wuchel or Uxiali. This agreement, signed in 1889, was ostensibly a treaty of friendship and commerce. However, like so many papers signed in Africa's history, it carried two faces, a deliberate act of colonial deception. In the Amharic version, the official language of Ethiopia, Article 17 stated that Ethiopia may use Italy for diplomatic relations with other European powers. It offered an option, a convenience. But in the Italian version, it stated that Ethiopia must go through Italy for all foreign affairs, meaning Ethiopia was now their protectorate, effectively surrendering its independence. Brothers and sisters, how many times in our own nations have foreign agreements been written in two languages? One for our eyes, one for theirs, and the one for theirs carries the chains? Menelik, with his keen intellect and advisors, read the deception. In 1893, he tore the treaty apart, publicly denouncing the Italian interpretation. He declared unequivocally, Ethiopia is free. But in Rome, they saw his refusal as an insult. An insult to a colonial power always meant one thing, war. In 1895, Italy, under Prime Minister Francesco Crispi, decided to enforce its claim through military might. General Oreste Baratieri led Italian forces from Eritrea into the northern Ethiopian province of Tigray. They captured strategic towns like Adigrat and Mekelle, establishing forward operating bases. The Italian press and public were confident of a swift victory against what they perceived as an uncivilized African army. But Menelik had been watching and preparing for years. He had strategically spent his time and resources gathering modern rifles, artillery, and ammunition from France, Russia, and other European nations. He masterfully used Europe's own rivalries to arm his people, ensuring Ethiopia would not face a modern army with only traditional weapons. This foresight was a testament to his exceptional leadership. When the time came, Menelik sent out a historic call to every corner of Ethiopia, from the rugged highlands of Shoa to the vast plains of Oromia, from the ancient Tigray region to the southern kingdoms. Warriors came. They answered the call with unwavering loyalty and a fierce determination to defend their homeland. Some had modern rifles, others spears and shields, but all had something far more powerful than weapons: the indomitable will to live free. You see, This is where leadership matters most. A leader is not the one who simply sits on a throne and issues orders. A leader is the one who unites his people, who makes the man from the north fight beside the man from the south, who makes the woman in the market understand she is part of the same battle as the soldier on the front. This is the essence of true national cohesion. Emperor Menelik II and Empress Tete Betul exemplified this. They transcended regional differences, inspiring a diverse nation to rally under a single banner. This unity was not merely symbolic. It was the strategic advantage that Ethiopia possessed. It was why Ethiopia could resist, not because they were armed to the teeth, though they were surprisingly well equipped, but because they were united to the heart. This collective spirit, forged in the crucible of shared purpose, was their ultimate weapon against a technologically superior foe. By early 1896, Italy had amassed approximately 17,000 troops in Ethiopia, including Italian regulars and Eritrean askaris. Europe told them victory was inevitable, a mere formality in the grand scheme of colonial expansion. Rome pressured General Baratieri to attack before his supplies ran out, fearing a prolonged campaign. The Italian High Command underestimated the logistical challenges of the Ethiopian terrain and the resolve of their adversary. On the night of February 29, 1896, the Italian forces began their advance, planning a surprise dawn attack on Menelik's camp near the town of Adwa. Their strategy relied on perfect coordination of 3 separate columns moving through unfamiliar, mountainous terrain in the dark. It was a high-risk maneuver, predicated on the assumption that the Ethiopians would be caught off guard and disorganized. But in the dark, treacherous mountains, their columns became lost, separated, and utterly confused. Communication broke down, and units strayed far from their intended positions. And when the dawn came on March 1st, 1896, the day the world would remember, they did not face scattered tribesmen. They faced an entire nation, fully prepared, strategically positioned, and burning with the spirit of freedom. The Battle of Adwa commenced with the first light of dawn. The Italian columns, disoriented and fragmented, stumbled into the waiting Ethiopian forces. Empress Tete Betul, a formidable leader in her own right, commanded thousands of troops and personally defended a key water source, demonstrating courage and strategic acumen. Her presence on the battlefield was a powerful symbol of national resolve. Ethiopian generals like Ras Alula Angaida, Ras Michael of Wallo, and Ras Mengesha Yohannes led coordinated attacks on different parts of the Italian lines. The Ethiopians knew the ground intimately, every slope, every rock, every hiding place. They used the terrain to their advantage, launching devastating ambushes and flanking maneuvers. The fighting was fierce and brutal. Italian bullets cut down Ethiopian warriors, but for every one who fell, 3 more came forward, fueled by an unyielding desire for liberty. Their rifles roared, their traditional swords clashed, and their battle cries rolled across the mountains, echoing the defiance of a people who refused to be conquered. By midday, the Italian army was utterly broken, ammunition gone, officers dead or captured, formations shattered. They began a desperate, chaotic retreat. They ran, and when they ran, they left behind thousands of dead, thousands more wounded, and nearly 2,000 prisoners. Adwa was not just a defeat for Italy, it was a catastrophic rout. This was not just a victory. This was a blow to the very heart of colonial arrogance. For centuries, European powers had told the world that Africa was weak, disorganized, and incapable of self-governance. Adwa told them, "We are capable, we are disciplined, we are united, and we will fight for our freedom." It shattered the myth of European invincibility and exposed the fragility of their imperial ambitions. The victory was not only for Ethiopia, it was for every African watching from under the yoke of foreign rule. From the vibrant streets of Harlem to the distant shores of Cape Town, from the Caribbean islands of Jamaica to the vast lands of Madagascar, the name Adwa became a spark of hope. It ignited the flames of Pan-Africanism and inspired resistance movements across the globe. Adwa proved that freedom was not a gift to be granted, but a right to be seized. In Italy, the defeat at Adwa shook the government to its core. Prime Minister Crispi was forced to resign amidst public outrage and humiliation. Italy was compelled to sign the Treaty of Addis Ababa in October 1896, formally recognizing Ethiopia's full and unconditional independence. No European power dared to try colonizing Ethiopia for decades after, a testament to the profound impact of this singular victory. Emperor Menelik II became a global symbol, not just of Ethiopia, but of African dignity and resilience. He treated the Italian prisoners with remarkable honor, providing them with food, medical care, and humane conditions. This, too, was a powerful statement to the world. We are not savages. We are sovereign. We are a civilized nation. Empress Tete Batul became a legend for her pivotal role in the battle, proving that leadership and courage have no gender, and that women are integral to national defense. My brothers and sisters, why do I tell you this story? Because the Battle of Adwa is not only about the past, it is about now. It is a timeless lesson for all who seek freedom and self-determination. When Ethiopia won, it was not because it had the biggest guns, though they were well armed. It was because it had unity, and unity is the one weapon they fear the most. Today, Africa still faces forces that want to divide us, sometimes by language, sometimes by ethnicity, sometimes by religion, sometimes by political ideology. They know that when we are divided, we are weak, susceptible to external manipulation and internal strife. But when we are united, we are Adwa. We are an unstoppable force, capable of overcoming any challenge. Menelik said after the victory, "The unity we have shown must remain, for the day will come when they will return." And they did return in the 1930s with Mussolini's fascist army, equipped with tanks and chemical weapons. Yet even then, the memory of Adwa burned in the hearts of Ethiopian patriots. It gave them the strength to resist, to fight a 5-year occupation until their land was free again. The spirit of Adwa endured, a testament to the enduring power of national pride and unity. Africa, remember this. Power is not always in the hands of those with the most weapons. It is in the hands of those who refuse to bow, who stand firm in their conviction, and who unite for a common cause. Adwa is a living symbol that freedom is worth any sacrifice. It is the proof that Africa can win, if Africa is one. And so, when you hear the name Adwa, do not think only of 1896. Think of today. Think of tomorrow. Think of the Africa that will stand again, united, unshaken, uncolonized, and prosperous. Because the spirit of Adwa is not gone. It lives in every African who says, "We will not kneel." Join the movement for a united Africa. Share this story, educate your communities, and let the spirit of Adwa inspire your actions. Let us build a future worthy of our ancestors' sacrifices.